Hi friends, my name is Holly of Holly Studio here on my channel on YouTube, and I just would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I discovered the world of YouTube vlogs and podcasts sometime this year, since I guess it was probably around the time of COVID or shortly after when it all started. And it's really been a savior for me. I've gotten familiar with a few podcasters and I really enjoy them, and I look for their posts every week. And I had to stop already for a phone call. Yes, I think I was saying that I'm really enjoying the world of podcasts and vlogs. Truthfully, I think I enjoy vlogs the most, but some of the podcasts I'm finding very interesting too. And I like the connection. I like being able to see what people do in their real lives, the crafting, the cooking, the walks they go on, the country they live in, the area, and the countryside. I really enjoy that, and I feel like I'd really love to be able to be part of it. But my issue is that my health interferes sometimes, and I don't think I could be a regular podcaster or vlogger, and not sure if I have the technical abilities to do it all. But I'm really intrigued by the filming process and putting the movies together, and so I just thought I would give this a little try. So today I'm just going to show, my problem is that I'm not primarily a knitter. I love to knit. I make quilts, the odd large quilt. Often I make many baby quilts, and I'm also a fiber artist, and so that usually was my primary focus. But in the last little while I've found it, I have done some this year, but I found it hard at first to get into it. I couldn't seem to concentrate. I wasn't inspired, but now that's coming back, and I'm starting to do that again. I will put a little short video of my latest piece that I'm working on in here. So this is my view today. As you can see, we've got a little bit of snow down there. It's a bit overcast, not too cold. I was out for my short little walk with my walker for about 23 minutes. This is the piece I was just talking about. It's pieced together with some of my gelatin monoprints. That's a process where you use a jelly for rolling paint on top, and then you put pressed flowers and print it onto paper or fabric. And this is fabric that will be quilted. And you can see a little view of my windows. Down here is actually one of the bookmarks that I'm working on. Just needs to be finished stitching and cut. See, the sun's coming out. And over here I have a little area where I keep my pens, some of my paintbrushes, colored pencils, and right underneath that I have drawers where I keep my drawing supplies, sketchbooks and whatnot. And then here on my wall is the quilt that I was just showing, the flying geese. And over here on my sewing machine is horizontal strip number 4, and the last block that I will be piecing on it. And some of the other things I do, well, I always love sports. I love the outdoors, but I'm currently on the waiting list for a hip and possibly another procedure for my back. So I'm not very able to get out and do too much outside, although I do. And for people that have followed my blog or see me on Instagram, they do see me out. I have a walker that's been adapted My husband got some little skis that actually fit on stroller wheels, and we put those on. And as long as it's flat, like if I can stick to a trail that's well packed with snow, then I can get around a bit. And I don't usually go for more than, a half hour or so. The nice thing about the walker is that I'm able to sit. If it's sunny, I can sit in the sun. I have taken my sketchbook a couple of times and just sat and done quick little, 5-minute kind of sketches just to feel like I'm out and doing something. So I do that. The rest of the time when I'm in the house, I enjoy cooking. As I said, I do my fiber art, I do quilts. I also knit, mostly at night. I love to read. And I do a lot of kind of mixed media work. I do a little bit of watercolor. For instance, this morning, I was working on, for this, I followed a podcast of Emma Lefebre on YouTube. And I did this, which is a card. My mother is in a nursing home, and I really like to be able to send her something. And I also did this little one. You can look up her, you can follow, and this, which I probably will eventually cut and add to cards to send to somebody. And the other day, something that I also enjoy doing, these are cards that I made, but they're done on, they're printed on fabric, mono jelly prints. And then what I do is I fuse them onto the card. And this is another one. I often use these prints in my artwork, and then if I have some little bits left over, I can do little projects with them. I've done some, you can also do some bookmarks. And so that's something that I do. I just keep busy, I guess, with a lot of different things. So something that I did in the last month for knitting was these socks. Now, I found the pattern for these socks through a podcaster. The pattern is called Crunkled, Crunkled. And I did buy it. I don't usually buy patterns, but it just kind of intrigued me, and I thought I could figure out how it was done, but I decided I would buy it. I honestly can't remember where. It was recommended by the podcaster Tales from Cuckoo Land, and she got the pattern from somebody else, which that's the name that I can't remember. So then I started another pair in the Patton's Croy yarn, and I got about this far. Now these ones are knitting up a little bit wider, so I hope they're going to be okay, because the Croy yarn is a little bit thicker. This other pair is a merino, and it's really, really quite fine. And then the other thing that I'm knitting right now is a sweater for my little grandson, Gussie. He's 10 months old, and I started this. It's a DK weight, universal worsted, sorry. It's a DK weight by Universal. And I just really I've actually been really getting into a lot of knitting sweaters that are from the top down. I really enjoy that, getting them all done in one piece and adding the sleeves. But I just couldn't find a pattern that I was looking for something simple, but with a little bit of interest, but not too difficult. And every time I wanted something kind of down the front, and that's really difficult to find or at least I couldn't seem to come up with anything in a top-down sweater. So this is, I think it's a 1 to 2 year, but it's actually quite a good size. And you can see the detail on the front. And it's not too hard. There's a cable on each side. You can see that they're both cabled the same way. And then there's a slight pattern in the center. It almost looks like X's and O's. I'm really enjoying it. It's not difficult. And you do have to follow the rows, but quite simple. What I usually do is I take the section. There are 16 rows, but quite a few of them are actually repeats, and the purl rows are always the same. So what I do, because on my last project I kept getting mixed up, is I take the little small section that maybe will have the rows of design, cabling or whatever, and I scan it into my computer. Then I enlarge it, and I enlarge it to fit a full page, and I print it out. So then I've got that pattern in an extra large size, and it's really easy to follow. And like I said, it's not very difficult. The cables on each side, these two are the same, and the ones in the middle will vary according to the row, and every purl row is exactly the same. So, and there are repeat rows on the right side as well, so it's not difficult. I'm really enjoying it. And my knitting time is usually at night. Once I sit down, around 8:30 or so, I might watch a show or two, and then some podcasts after that. And I like to have my knitting out. And I'm usually up fairly late. So the only other thing that I'm working on right now is, you can see it behind me. I did this actually, I think in the summertime, kind of in a frenzy. It just kept me busy, and I wasn't into any fiber art at the time. And I got the idea from the last Homely House East of the Sea, I think it is, with Kate. Actually, I found her, and I just went right back to the beginning of her vlogs and watched right from the beginning, and I really, really enjoy her. Actually, I'm a Patreon now, just on the basic level, because I love to watch her videos. So she had done this, and I just love the colors, and she did it in K Facet fabrics, and mine are not, but they're bright and kind of more modern fabrics, I think. So right now you can't quite see the whole thing. You see 3 rows. I think there's 5 rows altogether. I'm working on the 4th row right now, and I only have 1 more of the strips to add to the 4th row, and then I'll have be doing the 5th row horizontally, so then it'll be ready to put together. And I probably will put a small border around it, just to give it a little bit of size. I don't know, it might be possibly a twin size, something like that. I just like the bright colors, and the pattern is so easy. I think it's called the No Waste Flying Geese, and when you make it, the way you cut it, she's got, actually, Kate on her site, her YouTube channel, she has actually like a tutorial where she does it. And so when you cut it and you sew it, you actually get the 4 pieces. You actually will get the 4 in one, with just cutting 1. And so I really, really enjoyed that. And when I need a no-brainer to sew lately, if I'm distracted and I just need something easy, then I can sit down and do that, so that you can see it. It's all ready to quilt, and I think I'm going to quilt it fairly simply. I like the simplicity of this piece. So that's about it for me. I just have a wide variety of things I like to do, and I think I'd like to just try making a few videos here and there, which I have been doing, and I've been adding them to some of my blog posts, and had a few people going and viewing them. And like I said, I don't think I'm up to a regular vlog or podcast commitment, but I wouldn't mind doing a few movies of what I'm doing, once in a while, when I'm sitting and knitting. And I love to hear from you if you have, projects going on, or if there's anything you've seen here that you're interested in, let me know.